So hi Bertan, nice to have you in Strasbourg for nuance.studio. It's your first gigs in France?
Yeah, it's my first one here.
Yeah.
First of all, also big thanks to you.
Welcome, it's really a pleasure to have you. We really enjoy your music and all the vibes around.
That's all. Appreciate that a lot. And yeah, it's my first time here. It means something every time you are able to travel somewhere with your record bag, bring your music, have people being interested enough in you to like really make the effort to get you there. And yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like I told you before, it's really difficult to find DJs who's playing this kind of music, like something really special with a real identity. So thank you really much to come and let us discover your universe.
Yeah, thanks for your words. I mean, I think everything is about perception, right? Mm-hmm. Like you might perceive my music as something really special, but some days to me it's like, is this music actually good? You know, like, do I actually like it, or will people like it? So I think it's always in the eyes of who like sees it, you know, like, and but it's nice that you can put out something and have it perceived the way that it's special. So it means that you're doing something right, maybe, you know.
Yes, man. I think it's always the problem. I think it's a good problem because you always think about your music, and I think feel a little bit insecure about your new music makes you progress a little bit because you always look for something new. You
never get too comfortable.
Yeah,
it's crucial. Yeah, but it's also like I'm not a musician, so I learned to play some guitar when I was younger, but never really got into it. Mm-hmm. And like not being a musician, not being someone who produces music, it's you judge a lot of things only by feeling, you know. Exactly. And to define what you're really feeling is really also based on your daily mood, you know. So your own perception about how you feel about your records can differ, and you can be certain or uncertain on some days about what you're doing. So it's hard to really judge what you're doing. Yeah. I feel like with this, like DJing.
Yeah, of course. But I think the DJ are really too hard with themselves, like, you know. Like, me as a DJ, I never finish a DJ set, and I was like, oh, it was a good one. Never on my life.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, with me that happens sometimes.
Yeah, but for me, I have always transition or something that I can do better. Right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see what you mean. Yeah, but like, yeah, it's interesting. I think every person is different when it comes to that stuff. I mean, it happens rarely that I go out of a set and I'm like, wow, it was amazing. But when I have it, it's mostly when I knew for myself I was able to express what I wanted to express. Mm-hmm. Doesn't necessarily mean like I walked out of a lot of like half full, half empty club situations and was like really happy with what I did. Yeah. Not people jumping and screaming and like you see in all the Instagram like videos and stuff, you know. But like I walked out and I was like happy because I knew like, okay, this was what I wanted to express, and it all came together really nicely, in my opinion, you know.
What are your musical influences? I mean, what you were listening when you were a child, or what makes you? Me, I remember, for an example, when I was a child, it was Jerry Lee Lewis, like really.
Really? Okay.
And I don't know, maybe you have a favorite one or a lot. I don't know.
Oh man. I know that I always listen to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. Like it was more rock and roll, more classic, I don't know, more jazz.
Like, do you remember the first music you really listened to consciously, like as like a young kid, where you were like, oh, this is my favorite song, like the first thing?
Yeah, like I told you, it was
what was that?
Jerry Lee Lewis, and then after,
really as a kid?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
I was big listener of rock and roll because I had no choice with my parents.
Yeah.
My father used to listen a lot of blues record, a lot of blues. But me as a child, Michael Jackson and Jerry Lee Lewis. Yeah. I think is the two artists that I was listening like every day, like every single day.
Oh, crazy, man! You had some high quality music already in your young days.
I was lucky because we had like this vinyl stuff at home, and my grandparents had this vinyl of Thriller, Michael Jackson. So it was
my uncle was a big Michael Jackson fan. So I think the first time I listened to Michael Jackson when I was like 7-8 years was with my uncle. But other than that, I think the first real album I bought was Linkin Park.
Really?
Yeah, I had some Linkin Park albums when I was like, I don't know, I was like 10, 11 years old. But the thing with my families, no one is like really a musician. My mom can sing, but no one plays an instrument. No one has like a record collection or anything. So I was just basically listening to whatever I felt like listening to, like some German rap I was listening, I remember.
Torch?
No, not so much. Cool Savage I was listening to a lot. There's like the Turkish guy, and also Turkish roots.
Famous.
Yeah, but I also always had like an interest in Turkish music because I mean my parents would listen to Turkish music. Yeah. But yeah, I also like, I mean I would still play it, and I used to play Turkish songs. I have Barış Manço records. I just had like a Sezen Aksu record at home, which I wanted to bring, but it didn't make the cut for the podcast, so I left it home. But Turkish music always had an influence on me later when I became a DJ, for sure, 100%. Yeah, I think it's something, it's rooted inside of you, and you grew up with it, so your ear is basically used to the instruments.
It's normal sounds for you.
Like. Yeah, exactly, and so it feels familiar. So every time you stumble across a record where there might be like some elements, some oriental elements or something, it just feels familiar to me, and I tend to like buy the record or like save that music for later. Like it happens a lot. But yeah, I think I can start with like my first electronic music encounter, or which made me really interested in electronic music, was at this club that I told you about, Finca. And afterwards, I think shortly after, there was the first boiler rooms, or like right in that period.
It was the beginning.
It was the beginning of boiler rooms.
Something.
So my friends who brought me there was like, oh, did you hear about Richie Hawtin and blah blah blah? I was like, who are these guys? You know, what are these guys, my new friends, talking about there? You know, and like I got interested, and then there was the old Richie Hawtin, more like minimalistic boiler room, I remember. Then there was the Sven Fade one, the Carl Cox, the pool party. Carl Cox came, I think, a year later. There was like this. I remember. The Laurent Garnier boiler room, which was also for me, it was one of the first like sets I would come back to every time, you know. Ryan Elliott had his, I think, and that was like the beginning of me being really interested in DJing, because
and start to dig finally.
I was saving some music, you know. But I didn't start playing it yet. I just was saving it, and it had something like mysterious about it. To watch some guy in a dark room recorded, looks like a punk. Like I'm talking about Richie Hawtin, weird haircut, playing some obscure music. Yeah, you never heard about this kind of minimal techno stuff. And like, what the fuck is he doing? You know, and it has mysterious vibes, and it caught my interest. And then I started downloading through YouTube Converter like songs, and I bought myself a controller. It was like a Behringer controller for 50 euros, $50, very small, looks like really a child's toy.
I had one like this too.
And it was Behringer. Like really $50, I remember. Then some friend cracked what is the software? Tractor on my laptop. So the problem was it would not run. So I had to reboot my laptop 3 or 4 times. So it works, So I could not play every time I wanted. But I record my first mix, I remember 2019. And no, not 2000, when I was 19.
When you were 19?
Yeah, when I were 19. So about like 10, 11 years ago.
Okay.
And I recorded because I was going to the Off Sonar.
I love this.
And it was my first and only time at Off Sonar. I was 19 years old, 19, 20, something like that. And I wanted to have my mixer with my friends to put it on the Bluetooth speaker. So that's my first mix I record. I don't have it anymore, I believe. But yeah, man, that was a barroom stuff. It was just like seeing, Sam Proper?
Yeah.
At the Laurent Garnier ballroom, there is the specific moment where Sam Proper should play after Laurent Garnier. And he comes up in the middle of the set from underneath the DJ booth. He just appears, And me and my friend were like, what the fuck, who is this guy looking like a cowboy, Me and my good friend Tim were like, we have to know who this guy is, know? Yeah. And we discovered Sam Proper, and he really had a big influence on me because I really was like mystifying this guy and like really liking his style. And I saw that you can be like a rock and roll guy as well, doing like
be who you are.
Yeah, you can play in such a different style than Laurent Garnier plays, or than like someone like Sven Fett plays.
Yeah, they are literally different.
So I started to see like the depth of what this actually means, what DJing actually can be. And if you can be that different, there's like endlessly more facets that you can take on.
But that's the great thing, like, of the music in general. Like,
yeah.
Make the force, the difference make the force. Like
exactly. And that time I already knew like Josh, to be honest. Like we were chilling at his place. He was already a DJ. He had like this duo, and they were playing. And we would just go to his place, do a warm up. They would play some music, and we went to the gigs all together, like in a group of 10, 15 people. Yeah, that was the good days, man.
How can you describe your music style when you play DJ sets?
Ooh, that's a hard question, man.
Yeah, I know
but it's okay. I'll try my best to answer it. It's like it's hard to answer for me because I was and still am really versatile, I would say, to a degree where it's really hard to manage the music and like put it into frame what I have dug recently,
Yeah.
So the more widespread it is, the harder it is to bring it together and create something out of it. So I now, like the past 2 or 3 years, really tried focusing on more electronic music. Before that, I also was playing and doing a lot of like world music, disco, whatever, funk, boogie, psychedelic rock stuff, everything like the Turkish stuff.
Yeah, really large. So
exactly. Oh yeah, I was playing also more like organic stuff. I always was buying electronic music, but I was really focusing on world music, on organic music. And the past 2-3 years, I really made a switch and said I really want to discover more electronic music because I realized I come to an end with disco and with all of that stuff. It didn't catch my interest so much anymore.
Yeah, right.
I remember back in the days when I was still running that party series where it was a theme party where it was about only African music, Arabic music, and like world music in general. I had my electronic music record still, and I was buying electronic music still because I needed the exchange so my brain can take some vacation from that stuff and have like something else,
Yeah, and when you come back, you enjoy it.
Exactly. And you hear it with new ears,
exactly.
So that was that. But now, in the past 3 years, as I said, I was focusing more on electronic music, and what still stuck with me and still does to this day, I think it's with every genre. Like I also listen to rap, to hip hop, and I also listen to jazz and blues and rock and roll in my free time. But with everything, I have like there's one thing in common. I really enjoy old music.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. A friend of mine just asked me if it's like regarding to electronic music, if it's like forced because old records are cooler. I was like, man, no. Like if there's like a new record which sounds old, I will still buy it, you know. But for me, really, it's like
Authenticity, no?
no, not really, man. Like I mean, I'm just talking why I really like it, and I think it just gives me, because it's all about perception, right? We talked about this. It's all about perception, and for me, in my brain, when I have like a record from 1980 or something, I feel like I have an artifact from a past time, you know? Like it's like a time traveling to somewhere.
Wow.
It's like listening and imagining. It's all happening in my brain. I imagine how people danced to this like 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, how it was produced back then, under what conditions, how the world looked back then. Like all these like small things. It's in my imagination, of course, but this feeling I really like. I really like listening to old blues music, because like the really old stuff, sometimes it's just recorded with one microphone. So you have the singer playing his guitar, both going into one microphone, and you can hear how fucked up that sounds. But that's the charm for me, you know. It's like it's like a nerdy thing, maybe it's just like a taste thing, a personal thing. But that
the music is alive. I mean,
I mean, also with the old records, it sounds rough. It's more like in the beginning days of electronic music, like all the machines were introduced the first time, and people were experimenting with them. So it's rough. It's weird, you know. It's like not so slick and tight and manicured, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoy. Some people really don't like it.
Because they're not used to it. Like me, it's the same. I grew up with this kind of sound, but it's a little bit, it's not proper or perfect proper, and I like that.
Yeah. I love it. If there's like some inconsistencies or something which is made by mistake or by whatever it might be, it just gives more life into the music, in my opinion. Yeah. But as I said, it's just like a personal view, you know. Like I know people who say like, oh man, the new release music has more depth, has more clarity, sounds better on a large sound. Like I get that, that's totally fair. But for me, I don't know. I tried recently, like a couple months ago. I was like, I'm gonna force myself not to only listen to new releases, and even if there's great music, like really, I didn't enjoy it as much as when I was digging old stuff. So even an old, not so great record gave me more excitement, you know. So, but that's only maybe this changes. Like,
I can understand. No?
It's all like it's all like a journey, you know. Like I come from this one place, listening to this and that music, discovered that, jumped onto that, then jumped onto world music. Now I'm here. Maybe one day I will be only digging like new releases. I don't know.
Yeah,
but right now, this is my comfort
zone. Your style evolve and change, and like you said just before, it's about mood. Would you like to introduce some records?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I have 3 records here that I just picked from my bag. 2 of them I'm also going to play in the radio show later.
Okay.
One is for the club. I think I'll just start with this one here. It's Earth Leakage Trip, Psychotronic EP. I found this record in a collection I got, and this record is one of my favorite records, man, that I discovered in the past years. Yeah. It's from 91, and
91.
Yeah, and so the A side is called No Idea, and that sums up the record perfectly, in my opinion, because it's like a breakbeat, bleep, old techno-ish kind of track. And what makes this record special to me is the fucking vocals. It's like I just googled it before we started the interview. So apparently the vocals from this track is it's from a movie. Like I could tell and like everyone can tell who listens to this, is just weird, scary vocals of two children talking to each other.
Oh my god!
And
like in Shining or what?
Yeah, like it's a dialogue. It's a dialogue from the film Poltergeist.
Oh my god!
And
I like this kind of voodoo vibe.
Yeah, it's like they're saying the door is where the window should be, and the window is where the door should be, and repeating that kind of weird stuff. And then the one kid is saying, "Mommy, I can see you, Mommy." And like it's really weird. My
scary what you said.
My girlfriend hates it when I put it on. She's like, "Put the record away." But it's great music. I can understand, but put it away. And I remember I played this. I had one great moment was that when I was in Prague playing in Wild. There was a friend of mine, Natze Cena. Then Dea was there from Iris, and we were having this after hour in Wild. After it's like closed, of course. So just like the staff, the owner, and us.
The family.
Yeah. And it was like after hour, and I played this track the first time in a club, and man, it was just bonkers. Everyone was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" You know? Just
when it's mental like this.
Yeah. So that's record number one. Record number two is from one of my really favorite producers, old school producers, Ecstasy Boys. And this is called 7 Steps to Heaven. It's from 1992. It's just an amazing track. They're from Japan, Ecstasy Boys. Actually, it was yesterday that I discovered that one of the guys, I forgot his name, is still DJing in Japan. He's like an old guy, but he's still doing a solo DJ shows and stuff and live sets. So yeah, they're still active apparently. And this record is, it has the E side, which is very organic. It reminds me a little bit of my days where I was playing a lot of world music. I think I would play that in the old days as well. It's housey, but it has a lot of drums, a lot of the saxophone, a lot of instruments going. And the B side, there's like super nice breakbeats on the B2, which has also saxophone. I posted it the other day on my story.
Okay.
It was the B side.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like weird saxophone solo.
It sounds like a little bit jazzy like this.
Yeah, it's jazzy, it's breakbeat, and at the very end, like towards the end, it gets super weird because there are like weird noises that come in and go, which seem like not related to the music in some way. It seems like there's a technical error with some of their equipment, but it's made on purpose. And then they
make the stuff experimental.
Yeah. So it becomes very experimental towards the end. Not very experimental, but it has experimental elements. And it's unexpected. And I really like that record as well. Also, they have like a super cool album. Like they released, I think, 10, 15 tracks and put them all in like on like a CD. It's worth checking out for sure, Ecstasy Boys. Then I picked this record, which doesn't have so much emotional value to me, but I picked this one because it represents kind of what I really go for when I'm digging, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is Machao Cafe Club, is the label, I guess, and the artists are Dicey and Burns. It's Dead Up, and the back-to-back mix is the mix I'm playing. It's the side here that I'm playing, and this is basically like a blind pick. I discovered this one on Discogs, and it's like 5 people have it, 5 people want it. It's like unknown tune, and there is nothing on YouTube, nothing on Google, nothing to find. And it's like, okay, do I buy it or do I leave it, you know? Every time with this kind of stuff. But I bought it and I don't regret it, man. It's like a really nice tune. It's a bit techy, but has some organic elements to it. It has super nice break, a long break, with a sample from a melody, which is actually known, in my opinion. And I asked so many of my friends, and no one really was able to tell me from what original track it is.
Where it comes from.
Yeah, but it's dreamy, it's nice, and it has some kick to it. It's main time pick for me, for sure. Yeah, check it out. I just checked 6 more copies left, so grab yours.
You guys have to run if you want it. Perfect. Can't wait to hear that.
Oh, and it's from 2005. Yeah.
2005. Great year to the beginning of 2000. It's when I discovered electronic music.
2005.
To go around 2000, beginning of 2000. Yeah, it was. It's where all the explores finally. I mean, the style was really starting going everywhere. The end of the Ardos and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you dig your record? You go to record store. It's more on internet. It's more second-hand shop, or it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as I told you, I just tend to buy mostly older stuff, right? But I don't know, when I was at the record shop the last time. I think it's been 1 year or something. Yeah, like last time I really went for a digging session in the record shop was some time ago. Because I don't know, man. I feel like I can find more stuff, or I can find music more effectively on Discogs. So I just stuck with what works for me, and record shop for me always means a lot of commitment. Like I don't have
long.
Yeah.
You have to have a day or an afternoon for it.
And there's so many diggers, man. Like the record shop gets a new batch of records, and then everybody's there, you know, and they pick out the good stuff.
Yeah, man, you're lucky because you live in Berlin. You have actually more space to listen and everything. Because here, you want to go to the record store, you have 2 turntables and you wait for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's another thing, you know. It's like it's, for me, I feel comfortable when I'm at home. I make myself like some nice tea, or I don't know, make it comfortable.
Yeah, of course.
And
no rush.
I also stopped digging with the headphones because Grigor, my friend, advised me to do it differently. So now I just plug in my laptop to my mixer and I listen to music loud. So this is a whole, I think for me it's a better experience. Because it's different. Also when I listen, I experienced it the first time, but I think when I was digging music through my headphones at home, putting it in my YouTube playlist or something, listening to it back again in the car while driving was a whole different like feeling, because you could move. You were like, the music was everywhere, you know. It's like a different feeling. So I rather be at home, have my Discogs open and dig. And the process how I find music that I want on Discogs, it took me such a long time to really figure out and be effective. And I spent a lot of hours digging nonsense and really like felt like wasting my time, getting frustrated. But those days still happen, but not so much anymore, I think, because I really found a way.
Yeah, you know where you go.
Yeah, I know where I go. You know
what you want and you know where you go.
Yeah, and like we also a little bit talked about this before, I would just advise anyone who wants to find music that they like to first define what you really like, find out what you really like, and try for your own and find your own way, because like it's more work than just taking some advice from this guy and that guy and here and there, but it really ends up defining who you are, and it will show you really what you like and why you like it, and you will discover more for yourself and about yourself. So it's like the hard path to take, in my opinion. But Discogs is a great place. It's like an outdated fucking old-looking website, which it takes some time. What advice I can give is, for example, if you find a record and you really like a record, look through the label, look through the whole thing, the artist, who mastered it, look what other records this guy mastered, for example. And if like that's a great way to define your starting point when digging. Is sometimes I also don't know where to dig. I don't have any good sellers left or something. I just take one of my favorite records and I see, okay, who's selling this,
Yeah.
or who made it,
All around.
yeah, and then go
Label
from
and
there.
What's gravitating around the label and all the artists.
Exactly.
It's
So
a great way to really go into the style that you like, or the artist.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I can't wait to hear this. So we are soon at the Blue Note. I think 20 minutes with there.
Yeah.
So can you talk about Explorers a little bit for the people
Yeah.
doesn't know already
Yeah. So
the project?
Explorers is a project I do together with Grigor. He's my partner in crime, and really,
Living in Berlin too, right?
yeah, he's living.
DJ too, right?
Yeah. Really talented, really good DJ. So we're doing it for like 1.5 years now, and I met Grigor the first time, really spontaneous. Like I was doing this weekly shows at this bar. I was like a resident at like a bar in Berlin Mitte.
Yeah.
At this bar, I played there every week, like from start to end, like 10 hours. Because they start at 9:10 and they end like at 9:10, you know? So
that was really sportive.
oh yeah, man! I did it for 4 months or something, every fucking week. So I was digging just the same day in a record store, and audio in it was, I think, and I don't know, I think I posted like a picture or something, and then Grigor texted me because he was following me.
Okay.
Because he saw that I played at this bar with a friend of mine, Ollie, a tree. I don't know, maybe you know him. A tree played with me there, and Grigor saw that, and then he followed me.
Okay.
So, and then he saw that I was digging at audio in, and he texted me, "Oh, they have some great stuff lately. Check this and that box or something." I was like, "Hey man, thanks for the advice." Blah blah blah. And we just started texting a little bit, and then I was like, "Hey, we should do like a session." And he was like, "Yeah, sure. When? Yeah, just maybe today." It was a Saturday, and I had to play this bar. So he grabbed his records. I don't know this guy at all.
You invite him to play like
Yeah,
with you
at my place. At my place, just like
Yeah.
making a session.
Okay.
So he comes to my apartment. I don't know this guy. He's like a big looking guy, you know, but big smile on his face. Like, and then we started playing records, and immediately I knew that this is he has a good heart.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. It's an honest person, you know. So, and he had some different music than I did, but I was like, man, do you want to join me later at this bar? Because also like 10 hours playing every weekend, that's hard. So
alone, the brew is when you're alone.
yeah. So, and then he joined me, and this was I think 2 years ago, 2.5 minutes. And we ended up playing there together, and we became friends.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks or months later, we were doing sessions at home, and Grigor was telling me like, man, I like that you play like some music that I like. It's different, you know, to my ears, and I like it. And would you be like? Would you like to be part of my collective I'm starting now? I'm like, okay, what kind of collective? Yeah, it's just me for now. It's called Explorers, and yeah, I did just one party in Prague, and do you want to join? I was like, yeah, let me think about it. But like, it has nothing, no name, nothing, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, thinking about this is a potential. I didn't like the name Explorers, to be honest, because it was just like could be anything, you know. Like, or it's like such an easy name. I didn't like it, but I was like, man, you can make every name cool, you know. It has to have substance. The product, you know, what you're doing has to. If that's cool, you can name it like whatever. So the guy is cool. He has motivation. He has energy, and let's just give it a shot, you know.
Yeah.
And then we started that, and with me doing or having experience in graphic design, it was still a lot of work, but it was easier to really like gather ideas and make a vision and also bring that vision to life. And in my opinion, like vision, like what you see, what you visualize is also very important in music. not only the music itself, but how it's presented. You know, if there's like a cool looking flyer or mysterious looking flyer or whatever it is, it gives an idea of how the party will be, how the music will be. If I have like a record which has a really cool artwork, it gives me a different perception on the music. It doesn't say that the music will become better, but it plays a role, you know?
Sometimes it's the inverse. The artwork is really nice and the music is not very, very...
Yeah, also happens, yeah. So with all that, we started to evolve Explorers, and it became a party series and a podcast series. I think we have...
Wow, actually, for the listener, you should go and check Explorers. It's very, very nice.
Thanks.
Yeah,
appreciate that. I bet Gregor appreciates it too. So, we do all the artworks ourselves. We started doing like tape, cassette layouts for the podcasts, and we do like Gregor does the collages. I do all the artwork around it, and so it looks like an old cassette tape cover.
Yeah.
And we also we already have a tape recorder and tapes at home. And we also printed some of them.
Cool.
So the next step is we already wanted to do it in the Christmas time last year, but we couldn't manage.
Exhibition or what?
No, just record all the podcasts.
Okay.
Print the artworks, put in the proper cassette tape.
Make tapes.
And,
right.
and
Great.
give them,
That's great.
But just as a gimmick to give them to the artists.
Yeah.
As a little thank you.
Back.
Yeah. I mean, we would also sell it, but it's like it costs like $20 or something per tape to make.
Yeah, it's becoming too expensive to sell.
I mean, we'll still do it and can give it out to the artists as like a little thank you, as like a little gimmick, you know. So that's a podcast, and the party series is once every 2 months in Belmer for now, and then it is once or twice a year. No, I think once a year in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I saw the thing.
Yeah.
Amsterdam, Prague.
Yeah, and occasionally like at other places as well. In Prague there was one, or some collaborations, and so we try to find like-minded people and collaborate with them also.
Okay, cool. And I just took one last question because we arrived and it's time for you to play now. Do you have next party, next gigs to come, other project that you want to share?
Man, to be honest, the next we are in the summer break right now with Explorers. Mm-hmm. So the next party will be in August.
Okay.
And till then, I have some solo gigs. I have 1-2 gigs planned in Berlin, but I think announce that later on my Instagram or something. Of course. For now, there's like not a big thing. The next party Explorers will be in Berlin in end of August or beginning of August, man. Either of those. If you just follow me, you will see when it pops up. And
I will try to come.
Oh, we're doing a New Year's party this year. That's the first time.
Cool.
That's the first time. So New Year's in Berlin with Explorers.
Okay.
That will be a thing this year.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cold in Berlin in winter.
Oh yeah. Oh, funny, yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for your interview.
Yeah.
And
thank you, man. Really.
Yeah,
appreciate
we learn a lot about your music. That's great, and now I can wait to hear what you will.
I can wait to play it too. So.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Bertan, and you guys can follow nuance.studio to discover new artists and music. And see you at the next round. Ciao, everybody.